Hi, guys. We're good. There. Ah. Okay. Let's go.
I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Can I have a roll call, please?
Michael Cashman,
Present.
Thomas Wood,
I'm around.
Meg LaFave,
Here.
Barbara Hebert,
Here.
Charles Costick,
Here.
James Coffey,
Here.
and I'm in attendance.
Okay, perfect. Before we begin, in response to COVID-19 pandemic, the Plattsburgh Town Board is using adaptive practices in the interest of public health. The Association of Towns has provided guidance along with our attorney. We will continue to be using Zoom as a remote meeting software to conduct our meetings. The town of Plattsburgh is still learning this technology, and to allow folks ample time to log in to the software, we activated at 5:30 with the town board meeting starting at 6 o'clock. Okay? Before we begin tonight's meeting, I did want to have a moment of silence. Some of you may or may not know that we lost a member of our town of Plattsburgh family, a longtime member of our planning board, Terry Besaw. If you could please join me in a moment of silence in his honor. Thank you. Before we begin with the resolutions, if you'd allow just a moment, I want to provide some of the most recent updates as it relates to COVID-19 and around the state. Schools and non-essential businesses will stay closed now through May 15th. Governor Cuomo has issued an executive order requiring all people in New York to wear masks or face coverings in public. This also includes taking public or private transportation or riding in for-hire vehicles. An executive order directs employees to provide essential workers with masks for free of charge to wear when interacting with the public. Just so that you're aware, I've been working with Tim Dubray to get an order in, and also I've been working with Kelly Donahue in the Office of Emergency Management to secure some PPEs and materials for our team. Say that again?
Where is Tim ordering from?
I don't have the business off the top of my head, but one of the vendors that he's worked with in the past. And then Kelly Donahue's we're trying to work in concert with the other municipalities. I canvassed in my liaison role to see what people needed, and we put the number in today. So hopefully the county can secure some PPEs for us as well. Governor Cuomo and several other Northeast state governors have announced the creation of a multi-state council to restore the economy and looking at when they plan to open in conjunction with one another. The new COVID-19 testing facilities are open. You can see this information on the website. And then finally, New Yorkers who have recovered from COVID-19 are encouraged to donate blood. That also is on the governor's website. Clinton County continues to produce a daily informational that's posted both on Facebook and on the YouTube channel. Tomorrow, I would remind people they're holding their weekly media event via Facebook Live. Individuals that are interested can also submit questions to health@clintoncountygov.com. Please note responses to questions submitted ahead of time may be added to individual speakers' remarks. So they may not, do kind of a portion, but they may try to integrate it into the remarks. Tomorrow's speakers are planned for John Canosa, the Clinton County Director of Public Health, Mark Henry, Chairman of the Clinton County Ledge, Kathleen Camillo, who is a member of the Board of Health and also the Director of Student Health at SUNY Plattsburgh. Clinton County Health Department has also been putting out a variety of materials. These in particular will be circulated to our employees. The county has also done a great job as far as putting it out on their social media and various channels. But these documents include the use of face coverings to help slow the spread of COVID-19. It also gives an example of how to sew your own mask if you want to. And then another one is for individuals that want to repurpose even something like a t-shirt. Often when we think of the face coverings or masks, what we're actually talking about is either or. It does not have to be an N95 mask. It's a face covering that is being put out there. So the last item that I would just address is through the executive order, the local municipalities are tasked with a certain responsibility for enforcement, particularly with businesses. We get from time to time a New York Pause alert of a business that has been reported for not meeting compliance. I'll use an example. If there is a business and there are 4 individuals outside of that business not complying to social distancing, by the time we get it, it's very unlikely that we're going to be able to go back, right, and address it. The other part to it is if Joe or Jane Public is in a store and they're in an aisle, and then they get home and they say, well, I was in aisle 4 and someone was not socially distancing. But, you know, and I'm not trying to be snarky about this, I'm really trying to lay the spectrum of what people are talking about. We have had some larger businesses that had not received their protocol from their corporations yet. We were able to get them some guidance from New York State. I myself have been out along with the codes enforcement officers to continue to educate and get guidance, and we'll continue to put information out there. So just a heads up on that. So without further ado, we'll get into this. Resolution 68, approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of March 19th and 26th, 2020 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Second.
Costick, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. So does carry. Anything for public comment this evening? Yes.
Yes. What precautions are you taking, in regards to hacking of Zoom?
So the reason that we are doing that cover sheet versus an active link online, Debbie, is one of our protection methodologies. So a lot of times what people are doing is they're putting, I'll give you an example. Have you ever been on a website and you have to fill out a section that says, I am not a robot?
Yes.
Okay? That's why when people put active links on a website, you can glean the information more carefully. Someone could still go online, but it is less likely that people will download the document, hand type the information in, and then explore Zoom from there. So that's one of the methodologies that was suggested to us.
Okay, because I heard about a meeting yesterday in Burlington that was hacked, a Zoom meeting that was hacked, and all sorts of sexual stuff was put up on the internet.
And if
in the Zoom conference.
yeah, and if something like that were to occur, we would just disband the meeting from there.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
Okay.
Mhm.
Anything else? Okay. Thank you.
That's it, thanks.
Yep. Resolution 69.
Resolved that the abstract of audited claims number 4B-20, 522-606 for $230,440.22, and abstract 4B /20, 83 through 97 prepays for the amount $258,814.06 be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisors hereby authorized to pay said abstracts.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
Wood, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Thank you. Resolution 70, monthly department reports.
Resolved to receive and place on file monthly department head reports.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second? LaFave, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 71, receivership of Whispering Maples Inc.
Whereas on June 5th, 2015, the town of Plattsburgh received a letter from the New York State Division of Cemeteries informing the town that Whispering Maples Inc., a business operating a mausoleum in the town of Plattsburgh, was abandoned within the meaning of Town Law Section 291, and whereas by order dated January 6, 2016, Connie Goddard was appointed as temporary receiver of Whispering Maples Memorial Gardens, Inc., and whereas the temporary receiver, pursuant to the January 2016 order, having taken exclusive control, possession, and custody of all the assets of Whispering Maples with the full powers and obligations of a receiver appointed pursuant to Article 12 of the MPCL, and whereas the temporary receiver, having reviewed the financial records, operations, and assets of Whispering Maples, having maintained and operated Whispering Maples Crematory Mausoleum in the town of Ellenburg, as well as the Whispering Maples Mausoleum in the town of Plattsburgh, having collected income from Whispering Maples Crematory and Mausoleums, and having kept true books of account of all monies received and expended by her, and whereas the temporary receiver, having overseen the assessment of the physical condition of Whispering Maples facilities and overseeing the repair of these facilities with funding from the New York State Division of Cemeteries and special grants authorized by New York State, and whereas the temporary receiver is directed by the January 2016 order, having otherwise prepared for transfer up to the towns pursuant to town law of 219 of the crematory, the mausoleums and related property, cemetery property, and whereas Letitia James, Attorney General of the State of New York, having filed on January 10th, 2020, a verified petition for an order judicially dissolving the corporate existence of Whispering Maples pursuant to laws 112A, 7, and 1102A2E of the Not-for-Profit Corporation Law, and Article 8 of the Estates, Powers, and Trusts Law, and whereas pursuant to an order to show cause returnable on February 24, 2020, in the Clinton County Courthouse with all interested parties present, and the attached order was signed by the Honorable John T. Ellis, and whereas a copy of said order to be attached to this resolution made part now, therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is authorized to take any and all actions as set forth in the attached order.
Before we get into the motion, I am gonna ask that we add one additional line, and that's to say that the town of Plattsburgh, will be, in receipt of transfer, starting May 1st, 2020, okay? That's the date, that Connie will be fully disbanding, her receivership responsibilities and will go to the town, so we wanna have that memorialized in this resolution, okay? So, is there a motion, to the effect of the resolution?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Seconded.
Ebert, any discussion?
I just want to this is clarification that the second to last whereas says with all interested parties present and the attached order signed. Is that something that should be attached here, or is that this that will be attached going forward?
Jim?
What we're saying here is that in the order that Judge Ellis signed on that date should be attached to this resolution, and it's made a part of the resolution. So all the say comments and powers and included in that order are now part of this resolution.
So can we get a copy of that?
Sure. I think Michael has some. If you don't,
I don't have that one, Jim.
Okay, yeah.
I will email it to everybody tomorrow.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you, Jim.
Okay. Go ahead.
Should we just add something that doing this under protest? It wasn't our idea.
The,
You could add it, I don't know if it would be helpful if it comes there.
Oh, I see.
All things considered, I think we did fairly well.
yeah,
It looks like the first line of the resolution kind of implies that anyway.
I think it's well documented at this point, so, just so you know, we do not have a meeting on the 30th, because it's a fifth Thursday. So, in talking with Connie, and just because everybody is split into many different directions, that's why we're trying to get this processed and make sure that, we can put a bow on it, as they say, okay?
Michael, do you recommend a roll call for this, or?
I was going to, actually.
Okay.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas E. Wood.
Thomas?
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costa,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes. Resolution does carry. Thank you, Jim, for putting the work into that one. Thank you. Resolution 72, water and sewer late payment penalties.
Whereas the COVID-19 virus has dramatically impacted the economic well-being of numerous individuals and businesses within the town, resulting in their inability to make their water and sewer payments in a timely manner, and thus subjecting said individuals and businesses to penalties for late payment of water and sewer charges, and whereas it is the desire of the town board to provide financial relief for those individuals and businesses who have been unable to pay their water and sewer charges in a timely fashion. To assist these individuals and businesses in this time of need, penalties and interest shall be waived for all individuals and businesses within the town who are unable to make their payments for water and sewer charges in a timely manner. And be it resolved that waiver of penalties shall remain in full force for the period of 90 days. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager, water and wastewater director, and tax receiver.
And before accepting the motion, again, I apologize for the additions this way, but just kind of to facilitate information. The period would be from April 1st to June 30th. Okay? Is there a motion for the resolution?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
LaFave, any discussion?
With this,
Well, say thanks to Meg and Chuck for your assistance with Scott, getting this process going, so thank you both.
Well, Chuck was at a fire when he took the call, so he was pulling double duty, probably about to hit the road somewhere for his full job. But Patrick and Scott are so thoughtful and just want to do the right thing for our town.
Kim?
Any other?
yes, I would assume that we would revisit this at that time to see where we're at in terms of.
Yep.
Continuing on.
Yep.
That's the way we've discussed it, Tom, is that if necessary, we'll revisit it and extend it at that time.
Okay. And it's also why we put a period, a time period in, so that it's more reflective, so there's not confusion, because 90 days, who's 90 days, when does the night, so on and so forth, okay? I'm gonna ask for a roll call on this as well. Roll call, please.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes, resolution carries. Thank you.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Does somebody have a TV on in the background?
Not me.
I'll check.
It's a little bit hard to hear Kevin.
It's a lot of hard to hear, Kevin.
Maybe you could get Kevin an iPad so he can be part of this.
Last resolution, this is a late one, and I will explain once we get down to the discussion. I have a letter from Trevor Cole, the department head. Resolution 73, Planning Board Member Appointment of James Sherman.
Whereas a vacancy exists on the planning board for a regular board member, and whereas James Sherman is an alternate on the planning board and is willing to serve as a regular planning board member, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Plattsburgh does hereby appoint Mr. Sherman, a resident of the town of Plattsburgh, to the planning board as a regular board member for a term to expire December 31, 2020, and be it further resolved that Mr. Sherman take the oath of office within 30 days of this resolution, and the supervisor send a letter of appointment and appreciation to Mr. Sherman, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the Planning and Community Development Department head, and a certified copy also be given to Mr. Sherman.
Is there a motion for discussion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Second.
Costick, all right. This is the letter from Mr. Cole. Dear Mr. Cashman and town board members, the planning board currently has one position available due to the death of a planning board member, Terry Besaw. It is recommended that the town board consider appointing alternate planning board member James Sherman as a full planning board member, replacing the vacancy created by the death of Mr. Besaw. Mr. Sherman has participated in planning board training activities and has been engaged and a valuable member as an alternate planning board member. The Planning and Community Development Department believes he will be a valuable planning board member. This will leave 3 alternative planning board positions vacant. Should you have any questions, please let me know. Part of the reason that Trevor is recommending this now is in the sequencing of the upcoming meetings and with ongoing potential health concerns that could develop during COVID-19, is to make sure that we fill the vacancies of the seats where he is an alternate. And then we do have that application for volunteers. I know of at least one person that is in the wings that would like to be considered for an alternate position. So we do have some other positions that we could fill. But Trevor would feel much more comfortable having a full, board filled. This is the objective. So with that, open it to discussion.
Yes, it's my understanding that if there's not 7 members there, that the alternate serves as the 7th member and fully participates.
Mr. Cole believes that it should be in the basis of if there is not the quorum is met, is when the individual can participate for voting as an alternate. But yes, a alternate member can participate and engage in the process of conversation, but they cannot vote as an alternate if there is if the quorum level is not met.
You've got that in the law? Is that town law?
That's what the planning board has been using for as long as he has been under the advisement and work going back to Phil von Vargen, from what Trevor had said. So I can't speak to whether town law, but I can say that that's been the general practice. Would you correct me if I'm wrong, Debbie?
That is the practice, but I'm not sure. You said we have a 7-member board, but I think right now, after the death of Mr. Besaw, we really only have 5 permanent members right now.
Correct.
You said 6.
Sorry, yes,
So that means if 2 members can't come, you don't.
Correct. correct, thank you.
It'll be really tight. I'm
Yes.
not saying that it can't be done, but it could be tight.
Right, so there are other,
The alternate can serve, can't they?
Pardon me?
The alternate can serve.
Oh, absolutely.
they can serve, but they can't serve unless if they've met the quorum. If the quorum is met, they can't vote. But if there is a delinquent, a break in the quorum, then they can step up in the role. So,
Well, I would move to table this resolution. So I feel that there are some other persons that we could appoint to this particular position who have a lot of experience. And
Mr. Sherman is an alternate at this point.
correct,
And he's being recommended by Trevor.
correct. Any,
In the context of the current COVID-19 crisis and concerns for future health issues on their board or anything that could come up.
correct, yep,
And I would absolutely trust Robert's judgment.
is there actually 2 permanent positions open at this point? Is that correct?
I believe that is correct. Trevor, and I apologize, and that's why I'm looking at Debbie, because, we tried to get this together to make sure that we're buttoned down and acting. I mean, we're at 50% staff and we're, trying to claw information together as quickly as possible. This is not something that we would have,
I understand.
engaged right away.
I had a discussion.
Debbie?
I had a discussion with Trevor when we had our run-through with Zoom the other day.
Yep.
And we do have a member who, never came in within the 30-day period to take your oath of office. So we do have only 5 members right now, instead of 7.
Yeah.
And that was because they weren't
They didn't come in.
You know, they have health issues and things like that, so.
But that's information that's helpful, Debbie, it's just that, again, I think our questions are just put in context of, you know, good government and just trying to get more facts, not being together and maybe seeing the resolution just recently, so Tom and I are liaison members to that committee, so I think we need to ask the questions. So,
Yeah.
appreciate your-
And they're great questions, you know, like I said, this is not, you know, an optimal type of thing, but I wanted to make sure to get this out for consideration. I mean, this is being recommended by Trevor, and to his credit, you know, he has been working very diligently, you know, as Debbie had mentioned, doing a practice kind of meeting to get people up to speed on the software, the needs, to make sure that we're continuing to move this forward. And, you know, to Mr. Sherman's credit, he is an active participant. He shows up regularly, he attends trainings, so he does what we hope of an alternate member. You know, I personally feel very confident that, you know, he will, you know, meet the expectations, so.
Go ahead, Tom.
I'm still not quite certain. The person, you know, doesn't take the oath of office.
That wasn't
Can you
him,
appoint somebody else
That
in place of him?
but
if
that-
they're taken?
but Tom, I'll only divide that question in the sense of, that's a separate conversation that we can have about maybe appointing or reappointing that person, but that person is not James Sherman.
That's right.
So I wanna separate those conversations though, so as not to muddy the waters.
And
I'm
Tom?
not sure that you've been an active member in terms of discussing any particular things. Yes, you've been there and present, I understand.
When you say active, Tom, are you saying answering questions, asking questions?
Yeah.
He's an alternate?
Yes.
Well, can an alternate, if they're participating in the meeting, Deb, can they ask questions while the meeting takes place?
Absolutely. Yes, they can. Yes. Yes, they can ask questions. James asks questions quite frequently.
Okay. I'm gonna call the vote. I am gonna ask for a roll call vote.
Thomas Wood,
No,
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes, resolution does carry. I know of no reason to have an executive session this evening. Is there anything else for the good of the order?
I would like to see the forms that people fill out, and I'd like to see information about these appointments ahead of time.
And Tom, I agree with you. Like I said, this was an outlying situation. We do have those applications. I would encourage you as a liaison committee to meet with the department heads or as a committee to review that and to make recommendations for the vacancies that are available to those seats. It's something that we have been trying to fill, not only on the ZBA, but the planning board. Barb did a wonderful job, I think a great example of identifying somebody for the finance committee and making a recommendation using that tool. So let's use that, let's make that a priority over the course of the next several weeks, so.
I agree, but we did have a Zoom meeting with, as a committee, and we have another one scheduled shortly. And, you know, that was not something that I understood was in the pipeline.
Yeah, and Tom, the biggest thing that I would say is this was being guided because someone passed away. And in all honesty, I mean, that's why Trevor put it in his letter directly. I mean, it's a very sensitive situation, you know, because we never wanted to make it seem like it's a changing of the guard per se, and sensitive to the fact that we lost a planning board member, but that really was the guiding, you know, measure for that particular item, so.
Have you sent out a letter or anything with condolences?
I have not. We've allowed for the obituary to be posted. We will be developing a resolution celebrating his life. I actually spoke with Meg. Meg offered to help author it. She's good with words. And we'll be seeing that in the next week or so. All right?
Good.
Yeah, Tom, we, you know, again, moving forward, just take the recommended step of looking at the applicant pool, okay? And with these times, we just have to ask the right questions, and be responsible and courageous to ask questions that we don't wanna sound like we're not compassionate, but
Yep.
given the circumstances and the answers that we're giving to my questions, I think it's the right thing to do.
I think the other thing that might be helpful is if we had a full list of vacancies from all various boards, because it really seems like we kind of get this information piecemeal.
And what we've been trying to do better, Chuck, is there used to be a different practice or practices of if someone stepped away, are they filling the term that's left, or are they getting their own X number of year appointment? So there was been an attempt to clean that up. So we'll get a listing for that. Whoa, all of you moved. That was really strange.
You did.
Okay.
Where's Meg?
It's gone.
Meg's gone.
All right.
Make shoot it out of the meeting.
All right, with that said, thank you for everybody's time and attention today. I would say drive safely, but it seems like you're all home, so I'll try to drive safely. Stay safe, be well. Thank you for your patience tonight, and with that, is there a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting at 6:30?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Caustic. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Bye, folks.
Yeah, take care. Take care, everybody.
I